Today's video is brought to you by hardware porn. Lots and lots of hardware porn.
I've got a lovely bunch of Corsair stuff. Here it is, all sitting in a row. Big box, small box, stuff as big as your head.
Yes, today I have got the PC of Twitch streamer ThyKingSigh. You can find his link up here somewhere or maybe down there in the description. It'll work in one of these places, I'm certain. So go check him out. So he's already got a very nice PC sitting just inside this box, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. But sometimes nice just isn't quite enough. So we're going to be throwing in several major upgrades, including a 3700X, a whole load of extra Corsair stuff, including the lovely white RGB Platinum, and a very nice white 2080 Super, along with a whole bunch of cable management, etc. So come along for the ride and try to keep it in your pants. I've got it all out of the box, and as we can see, it is a very nice Corsair 680X crystal case with some very nice white aesthetic that's already been set up on there. This PC was originally built by overclockers.co.uk. So first of all, I'll show you a few pictures of the interior of the case. It's a pretty clean build, but I think they could have done a little bit of a better job with some of the cable managing in here. It's just not that great, especially not for the cost of the system and for the look of this case. I would expect a little better. It's not that it's a bad job, it's just, I imagine when you get to the size of overclockers, you get a little bit less time. There's just cables in places where I wouldn't have run cables. Maybe that's just me being picky. But on the whole, it's a pretty nice build. So we've got in here a 2700X. Considering that it's from overclockers, it's running on standard speeds. Kind of would have expected something already in place there, but we haven't got it. And we've got a 1070 Ti by MSI. So yeah, overall, this is a very proficient system. Very good for gaming as it is. But we've got a 2080 Super and a 3700X to throw in here. So, I mean, it kind of makes itself redundant straight away. So first thing we're going to need to do, as this is an X470 board, is get the BIOS up to date so that we can actually install the 3700X. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So we'll get that done first, and then we'll get down to installing some of the new parts. Well, the BIOS is up to date, so it's time to strip out some of those old components. Let's take a look inside here. Oh dear. Sigh. Little bit of maintenance now and then. Well, I guess that's why I've got it. It's a little bit dusty in here. Let's get that CPU out. It's 2700X. Give that a little clean up. And then put it to one side. We've also got to get the GPU, the water cooler stripped out of there, and we're going to be doing a lot of upgrading of this cable to get some nicer looking braided cables installed in there. So yeah, better start stripping this thing down. Okay, now that we've got everything stripped out, it's still fairly dusty in there, so it's time to take it and give it a damn good clean out, and then we'll start putting some of that new hardware in.
blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die. Now you're going to die.
This thing looks absolutely stunning. I couldn't be happier with how it's turned out, and I'm absolutely certain that ThyKingSigh is going to be pretty happy with it as well. But it's not just about the looks, especially not with this level of hardware in here, so let's take it for a little test run and see how well it performs. It wouldn't be a Premium PC's video if I didn't overclock this rig, so I've got Ryzen Master loaded up, and as if owning this rig wasn't lucky enough, the 3700X in here can actually hit 4.3 gigahertz very stably from when I've tested. To put it in perspective, most 3700Xs, at least that I can find information on, will only hit 4.25, and a lot of them need to back down from there to stay stable. But this one, 4.3 doesn't seem to be a problem. So let's apply that and give it a sneaky Cinebench run. 2085. That kind of used to sound pretty impressive, and it is a very good score, but 3950X, it'll crush that. But compared to the 2700X that was in there and my 1700X, that's an absolutely immense score. And so I've also applied a cheeky little overclock to the 2080 Super. This being a Strix model, it was already pre-overclocked, so there isn't really that much headroom. But we'll give this one a little go. I've pushed an extra 60 MHz on the core clock and another 175 MHz on the memory clock. With it being GDDR6, I'm not going to really be sure how much that tiny bump is going to make, but we'll give it a go anyway. And to test that out, it'd be rude not to run Time Spy. .3 GHz, nice and stable. We're over 2000 MHz on the core, just shy of 8000 MHz on the memory clock. Giving a very solid 70 frames a second. Damn it, I think it's time for me to upgrade. I've said it enough times on the channel already. My PC can't do this. It's certainly not a slouch, but it's also not quite this good. Very impressive score. Go. Better than 92% of all results. The only way you're getting higher than this is with a 3950X and two 2080 Ti's. We can't install an RTX card without trying out something with ray tracing, so let's have a look at the Quake 2 RTX demo. Wow. Just see. You see? Watch when I fire the gun. And the light moves with it. That's what ray tracing is doing. Okay, I need to find my way outside. That's where it looks most impressive. Wow. And ray tracing only really seems useful in these older, simpler to render games at the moment. Minecraft looks really good as well. I haven't really seen all that many newer games utilising it, but you can really see what the potential is here. I'll see if I can find a clip of the original game to compare these two, but just look at the way the shadows work. There's little reflections. I mean, look, the light catching on the gun is reflecting the same as it would do in real life. And that's what ray tracing is all about. That looks amazing. Well, that wraps it up for another video. I'm sure that ThyKingSigh is going to be very pleased with what I've managed to pull off here in this build, and thanks to him for letting me feature this on the channel. You can check him out again, it's either here or there, Twitch stream, do it. And until next time, I'll see you later.